Pat, you had that shot down the stretch, the three. Coach Snow called it a backbreaker. What did you make of that shot? Kind of take us through what you were thinking on that shot.
I was thinking that if I don't shoot it, Coach Jenny's going to yell at me. That's exactly what was going through my head, even though I was like 0-4 before that, and I knew I had to shoot that one because I was open, so I took it.
You also talked about the environment. So just what can you say about the crowd and how much that helped you guys tonight? It
was really fun. It was lit. This is my first BG versus Toledo rival game, so you know they spoke about it all week. I kind of figured what the hype would be like, but I had to see it for myself, and it was really fun.
How confident were you taking that shot? I know you mentioned 0-4 before that, but just what gave you the confidence to just take that shot? I know you said you were open.
Coach Jenny yelling at me to shoot when I'm open. Yeah.
You guys out-rebounded BG 54-26, and I know rebounds are always important, but how much of an advantage did that give you guys late?
It gave us some second chance points on the offensive end. We had some really big old boards, and I think that helped us a lot with the second chance points.
What defensive adjustments did Bowling Green make in that second quarter, and just what did you as a player need to see from your team execute better in the second half?
Yeah, we were just turning it over too much in the first half. I think they adjusted to our shooters and what we were trying to get done on offense and where we were trying to feed it into the post. So we just had to take care of it and value the possessions more.
Bowling Green put the lead to a possession at I think it was the 145 mark on that open layup, and you guys didn't allow field goal from them the rest of the game. And just what most impressed you about your defense in the last couple of possessions?
Yeah, I think we just always find a way. There's always a little bit deeper that we can dig, and I think we just came together and just made a decision that nothing was going to stop us from losing this game.
What a fun environment. What a great game. I have so much respect for Bowling Green and their tradition, their staff, their preparation. We knew that this was going to be a dogfight, and it certainly was. Every time out early when we had the lead, I made sure our team knew that BG was coming. But again, a great staff, a great program, great team. We love the rivalry. We're happy to come out on top tonight. But we're just really, really working toward continuing to get better, literally possession by possession.
Jenny, Pat said that you were going to yell at her if she didn't hit that shot. She was 0-4 before that. What was kind of the dynamic there?
Well, I think it's since she walked on campus. I've been begging her to take open shots. It's funny, I went back last year and watched this press conference, watched Kira Goss, watched myself, watched Kendall Carruthers, and there seems to be a common theme. I don't know why my shooters won't shoot when they're open, and other teams' shooters just let it fly. I recruit selfless young women. Maybe that's it. They're great teammates. They want to play through each other. But I've just really been on those two. I think they're tremendous. I think they're great players, and I want them to take open shots. And hopefully, as we continue to do a pretty good job on the offensive glass, they'll understand like a missed three for us statistically is way better than a turnover, because the probability of us getting an offensive rebound is pretty high, and then we can get some second chance points. But yeah, the only time I say fuss. The only time I really fuss at Pat or KC is when they don't shoot.
You guys had that 23-5 lead in the first quarter, and then they come back to within a point, I think. Just how did you kind of coach them through that stretch where it just seemed like you guys were having your own problems with trying to get the ball through?
Yeah, no, I mean, credit them. They brought the intensity, they brought the toughness. They were popping balls out of our hands. They were, poking rebounds out of, going right between two. And again, they adjusted and elevated, and we failed to there for a minute. So I probably was as animated as you guys have seen me. I don't like when people come into our house and they're tougher than us, and we talked about that at halftime. But of course, BG's coming. And we've got a bunch of new guys that don't know that yet. So I can't say enough about their program, their kids, their team, and we were able to, like I said, come out on top tonight.
Speaking of the toughness, you guys all showed down the stretch. To shoot 35%, 25 turnovers, what does it say to still go win that game with double digits?
Find a way. Find a way, and even when it's ugly, find a way. But we didn't fold, and again, our composure there down the stretch from Pat, from Miriam, from Ella Weaver, I think were huge. Ella comes off that late clock ball screen there and drains that pull-up like like she's done it 1,000 times, which she has in practice. She doesn't get to that much in games, but that was great to see. But no, just composure down the stretch. We say all the time in our program, only a full trip's over something behind him. Those 4 quarters were over. What's important now? What's important now? What's important now? And just preach that next play mindset.
You guys keep finding a way. Is this team, the way it's coming along, is it?
Are they trying to kill me? Yes.
Well, I was going to say, is it more, because they always play hard, so
They play hard.
That's the key thing. So is it as frustrating as it is rewarding, or what's the balance there? Is this a rewarding team to coach for as frustrating as they can be?
I love these kids. I don't think I could possibly love them more. They are amazing young women. They're funny. They're fun. They love each other. They work hard. But it's funny. My high school coach texted me after the Eastern game, and she said, you guys do the dumbest stuff at the worst times. So we have a little bit of that, but we're playing, 3 sophomores, a boatload of minutes. We have 1 grad kid, no seniors. I think that's just a little bit of it. I need to give them the grace to grow into it. And I need to help them play a full 40, figure out a way to compensate for some of our deficiencies and make sure that they play confident. For example, Faith. I don't want Faith to slow down. I want her to play aggressive and confrontational. So I've got to let that kid play free. And then we've got to get in the film room. We've got to figure out the turnover situation. But I don't want the answer to be slow down or tighten up.
Again, just lastly, just kind of bigger picture. Everything seems like it's in a pretty good place. But what is the balance, playing all these, but in this era, to bring in more transfers to, I guess, inject immediate juice? What is kind of the balance there? What are you kind of learning as we all go through this?
Well, I didn't know Destiny Robinson was going to be out with the knee. So that's a little bit of our ball handling woes up there at the PG spot. But I think I'm learning that, we want to, at Toledo, our fans in this program, we want to reward loyalty. We want to reward continuity. We want to build still from the ground up and then do what we did with Patricia, bring in, an infusion of some experience. And then, Kendall Carruthers is a transfer as well. Technically, Faith and Eva are transfers because, they were committed to Monmouth and then entered the portal and decided to come here. So, we'll address what we need. We have 2 empty spots moving forward. But right now I'm just really enjoying this basketball team, and we've actually got some great recruits here tonight, and we're excited to spend some time with them.
What is it about this team that they're just not able to get rattled by experiencing second quarter like they did tonight?
Yeah, hopefully our practice, right? We practice responses, we practice responding. They had the benefit of watching those seniors last year, who were never out of the fight. It's never over. We came back from, I think, as many as 25 down last year. Don't quote me on that. But, games never over both ways, right? Never up enough, never down too much. But, I think it speaks hopefully to the trust that we have in them. Like I said, I was a little bit more animated tonight, fussed them out a little bit for our effort and our toughness. But it's a fun group. They're a good group, and I'm having a good time coaching them.
What was the element that BG was bringing that frustrated you the most in that second quarter, and just what did you ultimately see your team execute better after halftime?
Yeah, they were tougher than us that second quarter, and that physically pains me to say, but I'm always going to give credit when the opponent comes in here and pops us, and they did. So I think that was the biggest thing. It's like we're in Savage Arena. You got 5,500 fans here. This is rivalry week. You need to bring the toughness, and they responded.
And then lastly, same question I asked Ella, but Bowling Green cuts it to a one-session game in the final 2 minutes. I think it was like the 140 mark. You guys don't allow a field goal from that the rest of the way. I mean, just what impressed you most about your defensive effort, especially in late game possessions?
I think we've done an okay job on the defensive end this year. Credit Jeff Lanier. He runs a lot of that stuff for our team, and it's just fun to watch them lean into the game plan and the schemes. We've talked recently about why that's not translating on the offensive end. The breakdowns that we do to prepare for the way teams are going to guard us. So that's maybe just that little bit of that maturity and growth. But no, I think it speaks to their commitment and their toughness. And, quite frankly, we got a little lucky on a few of them. 22 got clean for a few. Kohler got clean for one, and they missed. But they are really good players. They can shoot that thing.
It's the 3rd consecutive game you guys shot 20% or lower from 3, yet you guys are 3-0. How much can you lean on that defense when you guys are maybe not shooting as consistently as you'd like?
Yeah, it's the droughts, right? It's the long droughts that are so painful. And again, the turnovers, apply a lot of pressure on our defense. Your worst defense, everyone's worst defense, NBA, Euro, go all the way around WNBA is transition. It's hardest. It's when you're not ready to guard. And you put yourself in vulnerable situations. So our bad offense at times is putting a lot of pressure on our defense. And so that's really what we have to shore up. Those droughts that mostly result from turnovers and then we foul.
Do you feel good about these late game situations though, when the offense isn't going as much as you'd like and the pressure's on the defense? Is that something you will always feel good about, or do you think there's going to be a point where maybe it just doesn't work out the way it does?
I have a lot of trust in this team. I don't know that feel good is like a coach. Like we're never like, I feel great, yeah, we got this. But the second part, we got this. I have a lot of confidence in our team, and I also know that we're watching them grow in real time. From quarter to quarter, from half to half, you're seeing Faith grow, you're seeing Eva grow, you're seeing Miriam grow, you're seeing Kendall Carruthers and Pat grow, all the way down, Ella Weaver grow. So I do have trust in that. I have trust in our staff and the preparation that we've done. And then I have also a lot of belief that this league is really good and it's going to be hard. And so we need to play a full 40 so that we don't have so much squeeze there at the end.